back to NBAA TV Live. I'm Carrie Farnack. We're so excited that you're with us. This is Chuck Hodges, who's the Executive Director of Hiring Our Heroes. Chuck, I'm so glad you're with us.
Well, thank you very much for being here.
We just found out we have Orlando in common, so it's nice to have a fellow Orlandoan here with us on the live studio.
Us Floridians got to stick together.
That's exactly right. So we'll set the stage. We're on the show floor. For those of you just joining us, we're in front of the NBAA booth, and we want to talk about Hiring Our Heroes and how important this initiative is. Tell us a little bit about the initiative and what it means in its connection to NBAA.
Right. So it started back in 2011 when veteran unemployment rate was double digits, around 25%, and so the U.S. Chamber of Commerce said, if we say who we say we are, which is the connection to business across the country, we need to do something to solve this problem. So for the past 8 years, that's what they've been doing, is connecting service members and military spouses who are leaving the military with companies across this country.
Wow, and you served in the military for 30 years,
That's
right?
correct. Yep.
U.S. Army.
Yep.
Thank you very much for your service, by the way.
Loved every minute of it.
That's good. So tell us, what is it like when you come back? What are these folks going through that makes this program so important?
Well, I think, like most folks, you get used to a certain way of living and doing a certain job, and then you're told, hey, it's time to transition. And a lot of the military jobs are not one-on-one translations over to the civilian world. So for my instance, I was an infantry guy. There's not a lot of infantry jobs in the civilian market. So it's really, how do we help educate those service members about those opportunities that exist that they may not be thinking about? And also from the employer side of the house, helping these employers look at the service members differently, going, hey, here's an infantry guy, here's all the things that they can bring to the table for your company. But I think the biggest thing is, it's just the stress of, hey, what are you going to do when you grow up?
I
had 30 years I was in the military, loved every second, but it really was, hey, what are you going to do next after you hang up the uniform?
And for those employers, these service folks can be really incredible employees, right? So is it about the matchmaking, really?
Yeah, I think it's for this matchmaking and the translation. Because most employers, once they actually meet the folks out there and start talking to them and realize the skills they have, they're like, oh my gosh, how do I get more of those folks?
Right.
So it truly is for us, it's helping with that initial translation between companies and service members. Now the good news is, companies have figured it out.
That's good.
We are in a true, I would say, a war for talent, but we're in a huge competition for talent right now.
Wow.
So companies realize, hey, where do I find great, high quality talent?
Right.
I find it in those 200,000 service members that are transitioning out of the military every year.
Wow, 200,000 every year.
That's right.
Wow, that's so many. So tell me a little bit more about the fellowship program. How does it work? How do employers get involved? Tell me the details.
Yeah, so the fellowship program is part of what's called the VOW Act. Congress passed the VOW Act in 2012. And part of that was a thing called Skills Bridge. And Skill Bridge says this: during a service member's last 6 months on active duty, they can pursue training and education opportunities that will lead to their employment.
Wow.
So what the fellowship program does is we take those service members in their last 6 months of active duty, we interview them, we screen them, and then we partner them with participating companies, and they basically become an employee of that company for 12 weeks, Monday through Thursday. So what I would say, it's for a company's perspective, you often interview folks, you hire folks, and sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't.
Yes, true.
And particularly the program, the fellowship program does is, it allows you to interview them and then try them on for size for 12 weeks. So what we've seen is an absolute amazing success rate over the past 5 years that we've been running the program. A little over 1,400 service members have gone through. We have an average hire rate of 92% and an average salary of a little over $89,000 a year.
Incredible. So it's really, that period of time is trying to make sure for the employer that this is the right person, and for the person that this is the right employer.
Exactly
it's
right.
Both, right?
Yeah, it sure is. And for an employer, it's fantastic. It doesn't cost them a thing because the service members are still being paid by the Department of Defense. So truly, you get an employee for 12 weeks, it doesn't cost you a thing.
It's incredible.
The only cost of doing business is, A, you have to have an open requisition you're trying to fill, and B, you have to have a training plan on how you're going to utilize that service members over those 12 weeks.
Any specific employers make for better?
I know it's across the board.
Programs?
I mean, so from Amazon, from the tech industry to supply chain, to hospitality, you name it, we have fellows going inside those companies, including aviation.
I was going to say, business aviation notwithstanding,
exactly
right?
We obviously have a lot of pilots and a lot of mechanics who are transitioning out, and that's the one case where their skill sets in the military are a one-on-one direct translation into the civilian sector. So it's pretty exciting and it's amazing. We started this as a beta test 5 years ago with 30 fellows and have exploded over 1,400. And I have over 1,000 for my first cohort of 2020 who've already applied.
That's incredible. Well, and you can see why it's such a good match with NBAA to support HOH.
100%.
Fantastic.
And we have a lot of service members who are always looking for, hey, I want to be in the aviation community.
Right.
And frankly, we want more companies in aviation to participate with us. And again,
Fantastic.
from a company's perspective, it doesn't cost you a dime.
That's amazing. Where do people find more information?
They go to hiringourheroes.org. It's hiringourheroes.org. And on that site, you'll see our site for our fellowship.
Fantastic.
Also, that this is also available to military spouses as well.
Oh, that's great.
So where military spouses are participating in the program as well.
Fantastic. Well, so much good information. I know a lot of people want to get involved. So, Chuck, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys very much for having me. I appreciate it.